Khat actually has been talked about for some considerable time, and now we've got a clear message from the government that the Khat is going to be banned soon. And obviously, when it is officially banned, it is quite important that people in the community are aware of what Khat, the Khat is banned from effective whatever date that actually is going to come into force.
You're aware that the Home Secretary's announced on the 3rd of July that the government were intending to ban Khat, make it a controlled drug under the Misuse of Drugs Act 1971, and model the police enforcement of that on the way in which cannabis is policed at this time. Obviously our concern is that we don't want to criminalise the Somali community.
Although this ban is going to come into force very soon, you know, the intention is not to caution people immediately. The intention here is very clear that we need to get the message across to wider community.
The evidence of an effective police service is not police officers arresting people for the misuse of this drug. It's taking action so that it isn't a problem in the first place. And that's why, certainly from a local perspective, working with Brent Local Authority, we're trying to put in place some assistance for the owners of mafreshis and people who have businesses based on Khat, because these are individuals who have already demonstrated considerable entrepreneurial skills, and the help of the local authority is there to refine their business model and support them through what may be a difficult transition.
Although we don't know the enforcement model that will be used in relation to the substance Khat, we are aware that it's going to be a Class C drug. So that does tell you certain information in the sense that if you possess it, you are liable to be arrested, and the maximum penalty you could have is 2 years in prison, a fine, or both. In relation to the more serious offences of supplying it or importing it, the maximum penalty is 14 years in prison, a fine, or both. As I would like to add, these are maximum penalties, so they're not what a person would get, but the period between now and when it becomes in force is important to realise that it will be illegal, and any type of offence, like any other Class C drug, if you are possessing it, importing it, supplying it, will be an offence and you will be liable to arrest.
In relation to users of Khat, there's help through each and health support services through a multitude of referral points to get help in advance of suddenly the supply being switched off. We're aware, obviously, 7 to 10 tonnes of Khat arrives every day at Heathrow, and when the drug is prescribed, that will cease overnight. So its early intervention, we think, will be particularly helpful.
In Brent, obviously there is a large Somali community. There is Somali-specific services available from Brent Council. I think it's the EACH project, and also drug action teams. These are actually tailored for people who misuse Khat, or who have family members that may misuse Khat. It's important to realise that this is, as it's culturally specific, these people will have much more knowledge than a police officer.
We want you to take action in advance of Khat being banned, so that communities aren't criminalised, and we can help and support the community through a difficult transition.
If you do have a concern about your family member who is a heavy user of Khat, or a user of Khat, and you realise that it will be illegal shortly, advice and help can be offered by the local drug action team. You can contact your Safer Neighbourhoods team, who will have the details. You can make a referral, you can refer them through a GP. But it's important to realise that it does have an effect on people, and it needs to be addressed now.
As a frontline officer in Brent, my advice would be not to delay and to take the help that is on offer today, as when Khat is banned, obviously users will be liable to prosecution.
For those of you who are using Khat now, I advise you to seek help now, and those of you who are in the business of selling Khat, I advise you to seek help now, or alternative businesses.
The message from Brent Police is clear to the users of Khat, to the people who run and use mafreshis, and to the members of the community who are concerned. It's take the help, advice and support that is on offer today, because after prescription it may be too late.